Good evening. We are going to start the press conference with an opening statement from head coach Aiden Knight. Then we'll open it up to questions for Coach Simon Torwy and Aiden Knight. Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was the type of match that we were prepared for, and it was going to be another physical type match, but going to feel totally different, and it did. But what I was really proud of is our guys continued to show their composure late in sets and find ways to side out, and then more importantly, get some creates and then convert those. So whether it was defense or blocking, I know we blocked 16 and a half balls. We had 47 digs. That's a lot of opportunities in trans. So I was really proud with that. Proud about that. Both teams played hard. Both teams were fatigued, I would imagine, from a little bit from last night. But there's a lot of talent on the court. So I thought everybody was more dialed in serving tonight, even though all the jumps from last night, because I think both teams serving was way better tonight, in my opinion. But really, really proud of our guys' grit. And it didn't show any more of an example of grit than it was in the end of the match in the fourth set when we got down 5-0. And I thought once we got out of that row, Jacob's a great server. We were able to go back, and Clark Godbold did a great job getting a couple right away back for us. And then by 10-all, tying it up at 10 was a big deal. I thought that was the difference of that set because that was a big push by them. So really, really excited for our growth and our development of just being composed late but having tons of grit. Super fired up.
Simon, question for you. Career high, 8 blocks. And I hear that there were some very special family members that traveled quite a ways in the stands today. Did that make a difference for you? And how is it playing in front of your family when you're so far away from home?
Well, yeah, it's true. My family came out for the first time since I've been here, which is I'm really glad that they managed to do it. I don't think that's the difference, though. It's more just having the chances of being able to see what the opposing setter is doing, reacting to that, and then I have 2 great outside blockers, Clark and Alex or Spencer, who just tell me where to stop, and then I can get the blocks. But I don't believe that all of those 8 are mine, actually. There's a bunch there that got Clark, or that Clark got them. So yeah, of course I'm glad about the numbers, but yeah, it's whatever.
Hey, let me add one thing about Simon. He's played opposite his whole life, and he's switched with no problem to play both positions for us. And he didn't play like he did this weekend randomly. He's been grinding to learn how to block in the middle and get comfortable with the routes we run. He's a big-time server for a middle, and I'm just really proud of his work ethic, because when he was in and out a little bit, he could have been defeated by that. But he's actually just completely committed to being as good as he can in practice every day, regardless of what position we play him. So he played well tonight because of the work he put in.
Aiden, can you just talk about, what the experience of this weekend was like? I mean, this is what Long Beach State Hawaii volleyball is about, right? Great crowd in the Pyramid, awesome matches. You guys are on ESPNU. What does a weekend like this kind of do for your team? And just, first of all, how fun is it just to get to take part in back-to-back matches like this?
Well, first of all, it's the most fun I've had so far being here. Playing in front of the crowd like that was crazy. You could feel the energy on the court, and it really helped us, I think. It helped us just kind of stay in the zone. And, I mean, Hawaii's a great team, and I think we just played really well this weekend. We passed the crap out of the ball, and it freed me up to run an offense that I was content with, and it put us on a good trajectory for the rest of the season.
Good evening. This is a question for Alan. The first set, it looked like it was going either way, and Hawaii went up 23-21, and then you all rattled off the last 4 points. What did you do differently in those last 4 points prior to the set when it got tight?
Well, we take a lot of pride in the fact that we want to play hard and we want to execute the whole match. But when it gets past 20, it's just going to come down to execution. We got to be able to hit our serves. We got to be able to get across the net and block the ball, or at least put up good blocks. that we can dig balls around. And then at those situations, you got to be willing to play hard and block and defense. To be honest with you, there's nothing special at that point other than us trying to be. We're really in our base block and defense at that point, and it's connected. Our serve's connected to our block and defense, and then we understand that once we can get a point in that situation, the pressure's all on the other team to side out, and we got to keep the pressure on them, make them carry the weight, make them try to get out of that row. And I think that was the story of the weekend, really, that you hit on, is that I'm not sure we were up in in a lot of those in a lot of the sets in the 20s to start it, and but we were able to find a way to chip away, keep siding out, get a point here or there, and come up with a big block or a big dig at the right time. And that's not random. That's, once again, it goes back to what the guys have been doing in the gym. They've had about a 3-week span of just absolute greatness in the gym.
Simon, first of all, is it just a coincidence that your family came out for this weekend, or did they fly on a red eye last night?
No.
Knowing that
They've
you're
been
starting.
planning this for a long time. COVID actually stopped them from coming last year. No, it was basically looking for matchups. Like, they came for a 2-week period. They were looking for matchups that would be interesting to be here. And Hawaii traditionally is a good weekend to be here.
Fair point, but that's like an all-time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So yeah, I mean, yeah, they maybe got lucky that I was also able to play.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, a little bit.
but yeah, that's just
Yeah.
what it was.
What was the day like for you? What were you thinking? How are you kind of getting ready for the match, knowing that you're coming out here, there's gonna be 3,000 or 4,000 people, you're starting, and what are you doing in your head individually that led you to have the night that you had?
Honestly, if I go basically by hour what I did, I came back home, ate something, took a long nap, worked something for school, and that's it. You just
What do you write for school?
well, I have a midterm on Monday. Management. Don't. But I would say, like, from the mentality standpoint, there's like people who will try to believe that they lost the match to get them into a position of trying to turn that around. Other people will ride on the win, and to me, it just doesn't really make a difference. I think it comes down to when it gets closer to the game, I'll get more and more motivated. There's a certain energy within the team that starts to build up, like the few hours before the game, and I basically just ride that wave. It's pretty easy to do. So yeah. I would say it's the team dynamic, and yeah, just go with it.
This is a question for Aiden. In second, third, and fourth set, a team won by more than 2 or 3 points. Like, what was that change of pace like, knowing that teams started to feel themselves out, and then they started to pull away with late runs to eventually grab that 5+ point set?
Well, it was a lot different than last night. I mean, all the sets we won, they had 23, 24, and 25. So it's nice to feel some separation, feel like you have some room. But I think we found our feel passing. We were way better from the end line tonight, and I think we were just better overall tonight.
Aiden, I've always felt like in these great matches, that I've gotten to cover a lot of over the last few years, they're such a big emotion team. And you guys are, seems like philosophically trying to stay very even-keeled. Did you feel like in that 4th set, they just won the 3rd, they go up 5-0. Did you feel like you guys are kind of waiting them out a little bit? Coach mentioned that you guys had the push, but I think you won 20 of the next 30 points or something after they go up 5-0. Did you feel that sort of in the emotion on the court, that you guys are kind of waiting that out before, punching back, I guess?
Well, I think they had just had a really good end to their 3rd set, because we were right in the thick of it until the very end. So I think just coming to the 4th set, I don't really think anything changed. We had the same mindset throughout the whole match of just going out there and just being us. At least for me. I was singing along to all the songs the band was playing and just getting in the zone.
What's your favorite song?
I don't know. Anything Pitbull?
They did play a Dancing Queen by Almond.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the whole team was singing that.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike.
Good
There you
photo
go.
shot of me and Simon jamming out to it before the match started. The set started.
All right, and this is a question for Alan. Obviously, beating Hawaii both times and pretty much having two legs up on Santa Barbara and Hawaii going into these last 4 matches against CSUN and UC San Diego. How big is that for your team, and what are ways your team is going to be improving for CSUN and UC San Diego?
Well, I think the end of your question is accurate. What are we going to do to improve? The other stuff is that's fun for you to write about. For us, we play next weekend against a good San Diego team who beat Hawaii in the opening game of the Big West. We're going to focus on getting better this week, and like we focused the last 3 weeks, and go down and give all of our attention to San Diego. So our guys will enjoy this. It's a big weekend. They did a lot of good things, but I'm not one to start comparing or talking about what that means for the postseason. We got matches next weekend. I do want to add one thing, and that was a great environment, tonight, and we had a ton of people here. Obviously, both teams draw well, even on the road. So there's a big crowd, great atmosphere. We had a whole bunch of former players here tonight that our athletic department did a great job getting out to them. First time we've been able to do these kinds of things since getting out of the COVID world. But just a huge shout out to everybody involved in the athletic department, all hands on deck. These are fun nights, but all the stuff that was going on that was enjoyable that I was trying to stay away from, which was awesome, was great for just the vibe, for the gym, for our program, our current players getting to see a lot of our former players, people back in the pyramid enjoying themselves. But none of that was by the coaching staff's doing. That was all the athletic department and Sean and Ryan and all the people in our development office making that happen for us. I know there was a whole bunch of promotions going on. It just felt, I guess the reason why I'm making a big deal about it just really felt like we were kind of back in a very normal space again. And you could feel the vibe in the pyramid. But for myself and our players, it's not lost on all the work that went in behind the scenes to make it happen.
Last question for Alan. You talked about composure. It certainly seemed like late in each of those sets, you guys were pretty comfortable. Mm-hmm. Is that part of the scheduling philosophy for you of trying to play as many of those top-ranked teams as you guys play? Do you feel that you feel you guys are better prepared in a 22-22 situation for having played that schedule?
Well, you hope so. That's one of the reasons why you do that. There's a lot of reasons why we scheduled like we did. Historically, we always try to schedule really well. But Andy Fee and I spoke philosophically about the schedule. What do we want to get out of the schedule? And we wanted to get as many out-of-conference matches as we could against the best teams we could. And he was really, really supportive of the things he allowed us to put in game guarantees and all sorts of stuff to create the opportunity to get teams here. And so I'm hoping the benefit is that we were able to make up a little ground of not playing any of those matches, last year. We have a lot of guys that weren't in any of those matches. So, I do really think there's a residual from the schedule at this point that we've been in a lot of those battles.
And last question for Alan. You had 16 and a half blocks to their 8.5. Was blocking one of the things you worked on entirely when it came to practice? And is this the best match you've blocked in all season?
Well, it's certainly not the only thing we were working on, but it's a huge part of what we do every week in blocking. Our block and defense. Some nights we're not going to block as many balls as we did tonight. We're going to need to dig a lot of balls. And we take pride in the fact that we're not just going to be a type of team that's trying to ace people off the court. We're not going to be a team that just relies on we can dig everybody. That's not going to be possible. And we're not going to give up if we don't block every ball and not be able to dig it. So we want all three aspects of block and defense. Have we blocked this many balls before? I don't know exactly, but we've had a couple of matches that's really close to that. This is a really good blocking team. We're getting better as the year goes on, and we're not close to the blocking team we're going to be.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right,